everyone, Sirturmund here again, and I'm back. I'm sorry that I was away for the past week. I was on a work trip, so I was out of state for the past week, and I couldn't get enough pre-recordings done to cover all last week. I did make an announcement of it on our Discord, so if you want to kind of keep up to date on our, what's going on with our, stream or YouTube schedule, make sure to join the Discord. The link with that will be in the description below. But I'm back, so we're gonna go with some daily videos for the next three or four weeks or so before we have to go back out on another work trip, unfortunately. Now, today's video is gonna be a little bit special. It's gonna be kind of like a 4-in-1, and this is this season's version of best decks to climb with. If you have been following our channel for a while now, you know we do these videos every single season as we get closer to the end of the season, to try to help you all push and get to that last stage that you need. Whether you're pushing for Masters, Diamond, Platinum, Gold, whatever it is, I got your back with these 4 deck recommendations. Now, the season has about a week and change to finish. I believe the new expansion is going to be coming out on Wednesday, the 29th. So yeah, you have just about 8 days or so to make that last push to whatever rank you want to reach. So let's jump ahead right to it. The 4 decks I'm going to recommend today are completely different decks, which I really like about this meta. It feels like this meta is in a good spot where you can have different style of decks and you can really just play whatever fits your style. So we do have Pirate Aggro, if you like the more aggressive type of decks. We have Jax Ornn, if you kind of enjoy more mid-range type of style of decks. We have Ezreal, Annie, and then one of Katarina, which is more for the combo people, because obviously you're playing with the Broadmane, etc. And then you have Jayce Heimer, which is kind of control, but more of a unit-heavy control. So whatever style you're looking for, all 4 of these decks are doing really well in the ladder. I think Pirate Aggro is doing the best, something like 60% win rate with over 1,000 games for the past 3 days. But everything else is also has like 59% win rate, something like 56, over 55 as well. They're all really solid to climb with, and I think are the best picks to climb with in the current meta. You might notice that Annie Jhin is missing here, and that's because I think Pirate Aggro is now the stronger version of Aggro, because he does have a better matchup into Annie Jhin. So if you don't want to run into a lot of Pirate Aggros, if you don't want to lose as Annie Jhin when you go against Pirate Aggro, I recommend this. But anyway, these are the 4 decks we're going to cover today. 4-in-1 video. We'll do a quick introduction for each deck and then showcase 1 or 2 games depending how long the games last. So enjoy the games. I'm glad to be back. If you don't want to miss any of our videos, make sure that you subscribe below so that you get up to date on all our videos as they come out. Enjoy the games. So the first one that we're going to recommend today for you all to climb with is going to be Pirate Aggro, and this is probably going to be the best of the 4 decks if you really want to climb fast and don't have enough time to climb with. This deck is having a ridiculous win rate in Diamond Master Ladder because it does really well against almost everything else in the meta, and it also does really well against other aggro decks like Annie Jhin. You tend to have a better position against those decks because you have access to stuff like Twisted Fate, your Misfortune. You kind of end up with a lot of blockers, so you're able to kind of chunk them out before they can actually kill you. It ends up being really nice. Now, this version of Pirate Aggro is very similar to other versions that we have shown in the past. I do like the nice addition of Sigil Malice here. I'm not sure if Brothers Bond is the right call, but let's give it a shot and see how it is, since we're no longer able to play Reveler's Feast, right? Last time I showcased Pirate Aggro, we had Reveler's Feast here, but that card got nerfed. So kind of Brothers Bond is kind of like a weaker version of Reveler's Feast, but could still potentially get us to surprise the opponent if they're not being careful. And then Sigil Malice can just do 2 to the face, so it's just another burn that the opponent's going to have to deal with. But anyways, you all know what Pirate Aggro is about. I have a couple of links below to my Pirate Aggro video from last patch, as well as any other Pirate Aggro resources that I found out there. So enjoy the couple games here with Pirate Aggro. In this match, we're going against Nightfall. So it's going to be a race, but they do have access to like Doom Beast and things like that, which could be a little bit problematic for us. I actually really like the Misfortune here. I want to see if I can get a 1-drop. So the Misfortune is nice because that way the opponent really cannot block. We don't get a 1-drop, but we do get the Sigil of Malice, which is actually nice against Diana. And we can just go Mirai Warden. Additionally, because the opponent is playing the Flight, they end up with not having a blocker in turn 2. So we can play Mirai Warden and then have the Sigil of Malice to protect our units against like a Diana with Nightfall. A little bit unfortunate that we didn't have this last turn, And also kind of like a low roll here with the chip, right? Because the chip is never going to be able to trigger. We don't have a landmark in this deck. So we kind of lower a little bit here, but it will have been the same amount of damage as we play the House Spider. Okay, opponent's going to give it to us. We'll take the 3. We can play Shell Shocker. If the opponent doesn't tap out of the 2-unit mana right away, we play the Shell Shocker first, right? Shell Shocker, Crimson Pigeon, it still gives me access to Sigil of Malice. That's why the Shell Shocker can be so good. But opponent just tapped out of... This is only for this round, so I'm not too scared of this. I think I still like the Shell Shocker into Crimson Pigeon. Maybe actually we go House Spider now. I'll take the 4. Do I take the 7? That's the question right here. Do we take the 7? I guess I don't have to, right? I don't have to take the 7. I can just block this with one of my 2 power units so that he can die to the Misfortune. So if we block like this, we set it up to 1 health, and then we play Misfortune and attack with everything. And I like putting the Misfortune first so that we still have access to Sigil of Malice instead of playing the Crit. Okay, so because if we play Misfortune, even better now, we have access to the Make It Rain, so we can actually just kill their blockers straight up. But the idea is that the opponent has a much harder time blocking here. Now, the opponent has access to Nightfall here, which makes me feel like I should just go for this attack. Now, you know what? Let's go Crimson Pigeon first. Opponent has access to Unspeakable Horror. If they go for it, I think we go for the Misfortune shot. Yeah, there it is. So we go for the Misfortune shot. That way we just get rid of their blockers, and then we just push this damage as it is. They get to heal 1, but it gets cancelled out by the Make It Rain. Opponent doesn't have any blockers because the Protector cannot block. We're gonna hit the Spider. I don't want to put damage on my Misfortune. I don't want to put damage on my Misfortune if I don't need to. So we just go like this. This is going to be 8 damage that we're dealing on a single shot. Fell Cascade. Okay, so the opponent gets to keep their... gets to kill our Misfortune. They still take 8 damage. We have Anakaboros next turn. If we don't draw anything that we want to play. And we still have a full set of units. I think this is still a good spot for us. Because it's not that we have taken a lot of damage. We got rid of the whole board, so the Nocturne is not going to level up anytime soon. Raise your weapon, Sunwood. Let's go here first. I'm okay passing, because the opponent probably has Nocturne, right? So maybe the opponent's looking to kill my Crimson Pigeon here. No. Okay. I think we should play the Saboteur, though. Maybe we should have played the Saboteur here. Oh, well. Okay, so the opponent gets to just take everything away. This is actually kind of rough here. I think I have to Sigil of Malice this. I guess it's the same, right? If I Sigil of Malice this or Sigil of Malice that, it's the same thing. They're always we're gonna potentially just block anyways. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. We're just gonna go here. Opponent pulls it here. The Crimson Pigeon dies. They push this 5 damage with these 2 units. We're gonna go Saboteur and then Anakaboros. That chip could have been so much more damage if we had anything else. We're gonna do 2 damage, 3 damage. Opponent goes down to 6 plus another 2. So we go here first. Oh, and there it is. That's the Brothers Bond and why I really like it. We always put it on the Tentacle so that it doesn't die to Bile Feast or another Unspeakable Horror. We know that the opponent really used one. Opponent blocked correctly. So the opponent blocked correctly. I think we force it out of them. We put it on the ones that have 1 power, because that way we don't want to put it on this one, because if the opponent has a way to stop this as a Bile Feast, then he's taking away more damage. So there you go. Brothers Bond goes for the win. And this, like, Brothers Bond is weaker than Raveler's Feast. Can you imagine if that was a Raveler's Feast then? So, GG's. In this matchup, we're going against Feel the Rush. And you might think, oh, Feel the Rush is going to be a really difficult matchup because, you know, they're like anti-aggro, they're like a control deck. What I have found is that that's not really the case anymore. Ah, man, you know what? I think I'm going to kick the Butcher. I do want a 1-drop, but the Butcher is not the 1-drop that I'm looking for. This is much better. This is much better. So, what if we go Crimson Pigeon first? Let the opponent Quietus this. Doesn't have the Quietus. Needs to have the Battle Feast then. Needs to have the Battle Feast. This is even better now, because we get... Wow, okay, so it doesn't have the Battle Feast either. This is just game. If the opponent doesn't have an answer for this, this is just game. They didn't have an answer for it. Even if they have Avalanche next turn, the Pigeon stays alive, and we get to rebuild our board. Then most of they could have is just ramp, and if they ramp, I just go Shell Shocker, Nakaboros. So, yeah, this is game. Like, check this out. We go Shell Shocker, another Shell Shocker, then Nakaboros next turn, which gives us a target for the Pigeon, and then we just chill. Now, if the opponent is playing well, right? If the opponent is playing Withering well, they can actually survive this, right? But I'm not gonna respect the well because most of these decks are no longer running well. The Feel the Rush decks have gotten so greedy that they don't run the well. Yeah, there you go. They literally have to just go for another ramp. They still go down to 2 HP. This is the perfect time for them to go for their Avalanche next turn, and then they're just gonna lose to Decimate and Fervor. So if we were still in like the meta, like if we were still 2 years ago, then yes, well would have been such a punish. But again, nobody's playing well anymore, so I think we just go like this. That's the 3 damage, force the opponent to have to commit something else here, and there we go. GG's. We could have rebuilt our board with Marai plus Rearguard, or you could just consap. Probably going wider would have been better, so... Yeah. It's just not the same. If you're not, like... The fact that they're not playing well just makes these aggro matchups now be better against control, so... In this matchup, we're going against Pantheon, Varus, and Aphelios. I think as long as the opponent cannot set an Aphelios down, we should be in a decent spot. I also do like the idea of going super aggressive. I don't like the Butcher. I'm hoping I can get a different 1-drop. House Spider is not bad because he still lets me go wide. My Right Warden lets me go wide as well. So if we get another 1-drop, I think we're going to be in a good spot because that means by turn 3, we'll have 6 units on the board between the Saboteur, the House Spider, the Marai Warden, and whatever other 1-drop we potentially get. We don't get another 1-drop, but we do get Misfortune, which is not bad. I'm gonna go House Spider first, and then here I'm gonna decide. I could go Misfortune, and it has to be Misfortune. If I had a 1-drop, I would have gone for the 1-drop, but since we didn't get the 1-drop, we go for Misfortune. The opponent still gets the Lunar Cultist here. If it's not something that gives it... Perfect. I'm just gonna sacrifice Misfortune. We have a second Misfortune here. There's no reason not to attack with Misfortune here. Remember, we are an aggressive deck. Look, it allows our Saboteur to stay alive. Opponent cannot take any trade because they have the Wandering Shepherd. And then we can just replay Misfortune next turn. I'm thinking I'm going to start with the Sap. Oh, no. Okay, since we have the Crimson Pigeon, I think we just go Misfortune into Crimson Pigeon and call it a day. I don't think we need to go for the Sap. Yeah, we just go Crimson Pigeon, force the opponent to play their Quick them up. The good thing is that this doesn't give the health, right? So because it doesn't give it... Oh, okay, that's a little bit annoying because of the quick attack. So maybe we actually keep the Fervor so that we can negate the quick attack. Yeah, so we're going to keep the Fervor. That's going to negate the lifesteal. And then next turn we can just go Misfortune. And because he only has one... Because he only have 1 health, then Misfortune should kill it. I guess opponent can have Momentous Choice though. If that's the case, I'm just gonna go for Red Card here. So Momentous Choice is a problem, but the Red Card kind of just baited us out. Not even having to worry about the opponent playing. I mean, if the opponent had it, they could still play Momentous. But I feel like they would have still lost because of the Rekka getting rid of all the other blockers, even with the heal that they had there. So, GG's. Yeah, so that was Pirate Aggro. Like, doesn't matter who are we going against, that deck is just destroying everything. I mean, Feel the Rush, you really don't have to respect the wells anymore, unless the meta completely changes so for them to start running it. Like, even against Nightfall, like, you just push so much damage and just have so much pressure. Like, it's so hard. It's so hard for decks to deal with the aggression that Pirate Aggro can have, especially with Crimson Pigeon and all the cards that they have in their arsenal. So, that's the best deck I recommend to climb with. However, if you don't like the aggro playstyle, the next 3 decks might be right up your alley. So the first one is going to be Jax Ornn. And Jax Ornn was something that was obviously very popular when the patch first released. I guess not even this patch, it was last patch, right? With the last patch, it was a really popular deck. And then things started kind of coming that will countering that. You had like the Rise, you had like other decks like that were kind of doing really well against Jax Ornn, and Jax Ornn kind of went out of flavor. However, over the past week, this deck is doing really well again because, again, you have all these anti-gens, you have all these other like Lutz Jayce, all these other kind of slower mid-range or like slower aggro decks. I think Yanani is slower than like Pirate Aggro, for example, that really can get punished by you having access to stuff like the Heflon Mender to keep yourself healthy, and then just pushing damage with all this overwhelm and equipment units that are too big for them to deal with. That's why I think that that Jax Ornn is kind of rising back up in popularity and doing really well in the meta. If Rise came back into the meta, then yeah, Jax Ornn probably wouldn't be as good. But it seems like Rise that's kind of falling out of flavor as these aggro decks pick up. So now we kind of go back to the cycle of the meta where Jax Ornn can come back and take advantage of not control decks or not Ionia decks running around as much anymore. So this deck is doing like 56% win rate over the past 3 days. And it's as simple as every other Jax Ornn deck that you've seen before, right? We are playing Bone Club, so we're playing a lot of equipment with all our weapon masters, including the Bone Club. And then you just try to level up your Jax with all the equipment that you have, and then eventually have like a big Ornn come down. That's already going to be leveled up. The reason why Bone Club is so good is because it's a nice way to get your Ornn to be leveled up as soon as it comes down, as soon as you get at least one hit with any one of your units. It's putting a lot of pressure that the opponent has to hit with. So let's just jump ahead and kind of see how this games with Jax Ornn go. In this matchup, we're going against Annie, Katarina, and Ezreal. So, Nasus decks are annoying against us. Just because they will have access to flocks, they will have access to like other random things like Disintegrate that can just kill our Ornn. The Tough is nice on the Ornn, but obviously they still have access to like Mystic Shot or other 2 damage things that can still get through that hit that we're looking for. I don't think we need to play the Weaponsmith Apprentice just yet. I guess if we get Jax here, we'll get punished by not playing her. But I think we can go Artisan. Perfect. It's a great blocker into the Annie now that she has 2 power. If the opponent wants to attack into her, I'm completely fine with that. Here we have 2 options. We could just attack. I think I like summoning the second one first. I'm actually debating if Fish Fight is correct here. I don't want this Annie to level up. You know what? I kind of don't want this Annie to level up. I'm going to Fish Fight her. I think Annie leveling up later is going to be a problem. So we're going to go like this. And we're going to attack with both. I know I'm putting them in range of Flocks and even Static Shock if the opponent blocks with the House Spider. But I think that's completely fine. Yeah, if the opponent goes like this is also cool. Now, we're in an active position because I wanted to play this before we could play the combat kill, but because we did the Fish Fight, it doesn't allow me to do that. Katarina. I guess that's... Well, no, Trollshan just punishes her, right? Now, if the opponent has access to... Yeah, I almost forgot that Trollshan is a thing. If the opponent has access to Disintegrate, then this is a problem, right? The opponent could go Blaze Edge plus Disintegrate. I definitely want to improvise whatever I get from the combat cook instead of improvising the Bone Club. So, yeah, that's the Disintegrate, but that's good for us, right? That's one less Disintegrate that we have to worry about.
It's just
and we're still going to put a lot of pressure here because we have access to the combat cook. So, Yeah, I like improvising this equipment. We don't get anything great though. I wish I would have gotten something a little bit better than this. However, we could just level up the Ornn right now. We could just level up the Ornn right now by going double time and dedication and be completely okay with that. Opponent has to always block this. There's no reason for them to block this one. If they do, that's okay. I'm okay pushing 8 damage. The Ornn levels up right away, and this still not damaged because we ended up getting tough on it. Yeah, so they can't even kill the Artisan. They will level up this Katarina, which, yes, is a little bit annoying. And by a little, I mean like really annoying. We can go Bone Club into Ornn. Okay, so that's a big deal. That's a big deal here. So maybe we actually go Half-Blood Mender and just keep that heal, because the opponent will be able to actually... Yeah, what if we just go like this? What if we just go like this and just heal it up? So that the opponent cannot flock this. If the opponent wants to kill me here, I think that's fine. Yeah, let's just block here. This unit is always gonna die anyways. And I'm just gonna slap the Ornn. I'm just gonna slap the Ornn. Force the opponent to have the Arachnoid Sentry. The other option is to just open attack, but I think that's slightly worse. Ooh, a 0-cost Mystic. Okay. They're using all their cards trying to kill this combat cook. Ah, okay. The problem for you, my friend, is that the equipment still gets copied. So they did the Flock and a Mystic. I'm gonna have double Ornn. I can put the Pan of Pain on the Ornn. And the opponent really is gonna have to have an answer for this.
Good. Yes.
Opponent's really gonna have to have an answer for this. Because this is gonna be a big ram. So they need to have a stun, or needs to have the 2 spells to kill this. Goes for the second Drum Solo, which costs 3. So they could have the 2 spells that let the Broadmane actually push damage here. We're gonna have a lot of tough units, which is gonna make it harder, because he does make their Blade Edge not actually be able to kill the Ornn. So the opponent needs to get another... Yeah, like the Blade Edge doesn't matter here. So we go like this. Do we even attack with this guy? Blaze Edge lets them potentially kill that guy. If we attack here, I'm gonna go here, because if the opponent leaves this Ornn alive, and I can go Ornn's Bellows Breath, they have to block the Ornn. They have to block the Ornn, so they have to block Ornn. Yeah, I think we attack with everything. There's no reason not to. There's no reason not to. They're gonna commit Blaze Edge plus like a Mystic to kill this Ram. They're gonna block here, which is gonna put her at 1, allow my Ornn's Breath to happen. Yeah, this is gonna be rough. Yeah, there you go. Katarina plus that.
Trust me.
I think I'm fine with this. Obviously, the downside here is that the opponent loses both Katarinas, first of all. The Ornn still stays alive. The opponent still has the Broadmane, and that's the big problem that we have to worry about, because they're still able to kill my whole board by having like a way to actually push damage on this Ornn. This Jax is leveled up now. Yeah, there you go. They go here. Why don't we go Jax first? Or do we just go Ornn and just call it a day? So we can go Jax first. Opponent showed us that they don't have access to the stun earlier. I think I like the Jax first.
Who's next?
I like the Jax first. We probably should have played the tough equipment on the... Yeah, we should have just played the tough equipment here first, actually. So there is a mistake. Well, no, because I want to transfer the tough to Jax. Yeah, I want to transfer the tough to the Jax, so that's okay. They should kill this Blood Mender. If they have a Blaze set right now, they need to kill it right now. We can draw with the Entrancing Lure. It's just going to be all about the second Ornn sticking on the field. Yeah, there you go. They had that's why I was thinking maybe it was correct to put the tough on it first. We go here. This still gets access to... He still gets access to the Overwhelm because of the Jax buff. Now we can actually go on first and then have Ruthless Raider as well as the second Pan of Pain. Needs to have the stun. Third drone solo. The sequencing master was a little bit awkward, right? We could have saved our Mender by having another one of the Tufts on it, keeping it out of range of Blaze Edge. Because I could have put the opponent on having Blaze Edge based on how they were playing. Both my units having Tough, again, makes it really difficult because Blaze Edge or another Katarina spell doesn't do it. They have to have it. Static Shock also doesn't do it anymore because he's dealing 0. So they really have to have this the stun. So the stun gets there. This is where the Ruthless Raider comes into clutch. Opponent has to Mystic this if they have a Mystic. Otherwise, we put another Pan of Pain on it. The Flock does kill this. Yeah, and this the Mystic. So, we do have Challenger, so we can actually just challenge here. I guess we might as well just challenge here. It's the same damage while healing one of the Broadmanes. And there we go. That's game. Yeah, they had the Mystic. Maybe they had to... Well, yeah, they had no choice. They drew the stun. They drew what they needed to stop the Ornn. But it just wasn't enough to get them there, so GG's. So yeah, you got to see the Jax Ornn there. I'm only gonna showcase one game over because those games tend to be a little bit longer. So if you are already close to like Masters and you're looking more for something that can really get you there, then you can try the Jax Ornn. The games are gonna be a little bit slower compared to like Pirate Aggro, but as you saw there, you can put a lot of pressure on your opponent if you have those Ornns, if you have those Jax, if you just have that equipment get really big. It's all about trying to level up that Ornn before he drops them down to the field. That way, when he drops down on the field, he's already gonna be leveled up and summoning that ram that's going to put a lot of pressure into the opponent. Now, in that game, you saw us going against the Ezreal Katarina Annie deck with the Broadmane, which is exactly the third deck that I'm going to recommend today. This deck is really good because it has good matchups into aggro decks, right? So aggro decks are kind of running the meta with Jin Annie, Pirate Aggro. This is one of the ways that you can counter that. You tend to have a lot of removal here and a lot of blockers with House Spiders. The Caustic Rifts are really good at dealing with the Mirai Wardens, etc. That this deck ends up really doing really well. He also does well against typical mid-range decks like Jayce Lutz or Jax Ornn because of the Broadmane. Opponent just got a little bit unlucky there that we hit that Tough equipment and we were able to continue duplicating that equipment. Because Tough kind of negates the Static Shock, negates their Death Lotus, negates the Blaze Edge, right? So it makes it really hard if you have actually toughened units. But in a more general scenario, a lot of times you're able to kind of stall them because you kind of end up killing everything that they might throw at you. So let's jump ahead right into with this deck. It's a little bit more of a control, a little bit slower mid-range style of deck compared to Jax Ornn, which is more spell-heavy focus compared to Jax Ornn, which is more unit-heavy focus, and kind of see how it goes. But I think this deck is really good, and it's probably the best deck in Masters right now, with a lot of people using it to get to the first page of the Masters ladder. So, in this matchup, we're going against Nasus Zilean, which is going to be the Bolts of Hylia deck. But look at what we have here. Opponent's not gonna be very happy with us. I'm gonna actually keep the drum solo, just because we'll be able to get the aftershock trigger, right? So by getting the aftershock trigger when the opponent plays their Bolts of Hylia, we'll be able to enable the flow. It'd be kind of funny if the opponent actually doesn't get their Bolts of Hylia, even after we kept the Piltover Tailstones, but that's never gonna happen to us. We also do have great ways to deal with like their Nasuses and stuff, right? With the Disintegrate. Let's go ahead and play the Annie. Yeah, let's go ahead and just play the Annie. I don't think this is a big deal. We go House Spider. If the opponent wants to block with their Shepherd, then all they're doing is just getting hit by the Disintegrate. I'm gonna attack with everything because I wanted to block with that Shepherd. Nope, okay. Opponent smartly doesn't block with it. These guys are going to be a big deal, by the way, because they're going to have 5 health. Right? So 5 health is going to be a big problem that I'm going to have to deal with. We get the Conservatory. Cool. We'll play that out. I don't want to... There we go. I didn't want to tap out of the Aftershock mana, so I wasn't going to play the formula. We're just going to go ahead and do it like this. I don't really want to attack with Annie anymore because I don't want to have to spend this Disintegrate right now. Which is a little bit unfortunate for me because these guys are going to be a problem. We could go... Let's just go jump solo. Let's go jump solo. See what our options are. Let's go right here. Now that we have double Disintegrate, I'm okay eating up one of them. I'm okay eating up one of these guys. Oh, if you're gonna just go like that, that's also cool with me. Oh, Battle Feast, Battle Feast, Battle Feast. So... Let's go like this. I don't want to use the one that costs 0. I want to go here first. That gets rid of the Shepherd. It's kind of a waste, but I mean, our Conservatory is about to be enabled really quickly. We still have the second Caustic Rift trigger. We still have double Disintegrate. Ah, opponent gets their Nasus, huh? Okay, so the opponent's gonna get Nasus, but it's a baby Nasus. They get a second Nasus here, but again, we have a second Disintegrate. We can go Caustic Rift. I guess opponent could have access to... Opponent could have access to the Rhino Negation, huh? I think we go like this. I think we go like this. Because this costs 0, we're still able to go all in. Even if the opponent has Rhino Negation, we're still able to kill both the units. I don't want to put damage in, like the Bakai's gonna die to the Caustic Rift anyways. Okay, so there goes the first Nasus. We can actually just... Oh shit, I put the wrong order. I'm so bad, guys. I'm so bad. I actually did the wrong order. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and commit this Tivers. It still kills both units. But if the opponent has a Rhino Negation, okay, perfect. This is fine. We got rewarded. We got rewarded. He still kills both because the Tivers hits both of them. So even though I messed up the order, we're still in a good spot. I'm so bad. Opponent didn't get value from the Bolts of Hylia. We go ahead and play the Annie. Pushing 4 damage and getting our Tybook enabled. Now, the opponent could have access here to... like if the... Oh, okay, so... I actually think I don't play anything. I want them to play like a Nasus. Okay, well, they tapped out of the Nasus. They tapped out of anything that could remotely be a threat to me. So... I still think it's probably better to just play the Broadmane, though. Probably better to still play the Broadmane, huh? That way we actually set it up to die, like anything could die to the Static Shock and Disintegrate, or is it just better to put the Tybook down? You know what, I'm just gonna go Tybook first. Because we still have Disintegrate anyways. I can't believe I messed up the order of the Caustic Rift. I'm not gonna get over that. That's so bad for me, by the way. That's so bad for me. Yeah, I like the Tybook first. We still have Broadmane value here. We can actually just go ahead and kill the Shepherd because he's dealing 3 now. Opponent could technically play a Rekindler here. Casticate, okay. That kills your own unit, so you need to have another unit now. Battle Feast. So the opponent is trying to summon stuff out of this. So we're gonna play Mystic. Has 1 card left. The Bolts of Hylia is gonna not be able to do anything. Another Battle Feast. Okay, so they had double Battle Feast. So they're gonna get... From this, they're gonna get another Zilean. My thing is dealing 4, so he's able to kill the Zilean if we needed to. We still have Static Shock as well. Oh no, Chronomancer. So slightly worse than the Zilean. We're still chilling here. I think I'm still... I still like the open. The formula, we can wait to see what the opponent does. I like the open. He's actually going to give it to us. Anything that they summon, we can kill with Disintegrate plus Static Shock. Okay. We pass. Alright. Two Battlefields gone. Okay, okay. We can play a second formula that still gives us enough mana for anything that we want to do, and we still don't lose a lot. We still don't lose value from this. I don't want to play the Ezreal. Don't want to play the Ezreal just yet. Yeah, they get their thing. They have access to the Hibernating Rock Bear. We can play Ezreal now. Force the opponent to have to do something to this Ezreal. If they have a second Vengeance, the Annie stays alive. What is the opponent doing? This stuns whatever blocks her, so I think we're still okay. I think I can just stall out, to be honest. Okay, I get it. Okay, let's make sure that we don't mess it up this time. So let's go like this. We keep the Ezreal alive. Because it gets rid of the Grumpy Bear, opponent doesn't even get the second Nasus. They're gonna get another Rock Bear Shepherd. And we still push 4 damage. Healless Resurrection, so we get to kill that second Nasus as well. We go Static. And then we go here. So Nasus goes bye-bye.
I'm so good, I surprised myself.
Nasus go bye-bye. Opponent loses the Zilean, gets another Rockbird Shepherd. We get another formula. We have leveled up Ezreal. Let's just kill the Zilean. Let's make sure they don't get value from the Bolts of Helia. So now they're down to just 1 card. We have potentially 3 damage in our hand. Okay, that's gonna be 5. And there we go, that's game. Even with our mistake, even with our very dumb mistake, where we didn't look at the eye, and that's because I haven't played this game in like a week, we still were able to just control the opponent to death. And that's what this deck does. This deck is just gonna control your opponent, get rid of anything they want to summon, and just go from there. Opponent even got lucky having double Bolts of Helia, because we destroyed the first one, if you remember. So, GG's. Yeah, so that was Annie, Ezreal, and then one of Katarina. If anything, that game showed that I'm a little bit rusty, and that's what happens when I haven't played this game in over a week. Honestly, Legends of Runeterra does take a lot of skill with the ordering of things. Not only unit order, but also spell order. But, you know, we still won. You still get to see exactly what that deck is meant to do. Just kind of completely overwhelm the opponent with just how much removal you end up having and how much draw you have, because you have access to the triple formulas, the jump solos, the static shock, etc, etc, etc. Now, the last deck I want to recommend for you all is kind of going to be a counter to some of the decks that we showcased today, and that's going to be Jayce Heimer. And of course, Jayce Heimer is also playing that new card formula that we just saw putting a lot of value with the Annie Ezreal deck. Now, this deck is kind of doing the same thing as the Annie Ezreal deck, where it's kind of just doing really well into aggro decks and just controlling the opponent's board. But it's doing so in a different way. We're playing the Shadow Owl package and playing the tech package, right? So all the headstart handler and all the other turrets that you get to summon from Heimerdinger. So it's kind of a little bit more like a unit heavy type of control deck. That does have access to big things like Vengeance, etc. We even have a little bit of burn here with 1 Albus Ferris. It does really well. So if you're running into like a lot of aggro, a lot of pirate aggro, a lot of like Jin Annie, then maybe this one or Annie or the Annie Ezreal deck is the way to go. If you're running into a lot of mid-range decks, then that's when you go to pirate aggro, etc, etc. So you gotta have to find what your elo is currently running and kind of go from there. But this here is probably one of the best ones as well. Again, it is performing over 55% win rate over the past 3 days. So if you are more partial for control, give this a shot and you have a good time climbing as well. So enjoy the games coming up. In this matchup, we're going against Akshan, Varus, Sivir. This matchup should actually be pretty good for the opponent, I would think, because they will have access to spell shield, right? They will have access to Rattle Negation. They have a lot of great ways to deal with what we want to do. I would love to... I'm gonna play the Ferris Financier. I was thinking if it's worth it to get rid of it, or maybe it's just a production search into the headstart handler now. Maybe it is just that way. Maybe we just want to play production search, headstart handler, and just build up our turrets. The equipment is the problem here. But I do like the idea of making our turrets big right away. Yeah, I think we have to go production search. I think we go production search. Let the opponent get value here if they want to. If we get a 1-1, we can just block the Fakai. If the opponent just goes like this, I think I'm okay with that too. Yeah, I think we just go here. Maybe we get the elusive. If you want to write a negation, that's okay. We don't get the elusive. I think we slap the headstart handler first. Alright. I'm down to commit the quick attack one. And I'm down to leave the rest for later. I'm down to forcing to have the momentous choice here. Like, if they have momentous choice, I'm okay with that. I want to use this to block the scout. We don't have vengeance, which makes the scout really scary for us. Yeah, okay, cool. So we eat up the momentous choice. I think I'm fine with this. Now we can actually block with the other turret instead if we wanted to. Probably still better to go with the Storm Lover. We can destroy some of the equipment. Yeah, I think we still go here. Just in case the opponent has a second momentous choice. Okay, doesn't go for it. I kind of like this Heimer since we have the Quietus. Since we have the Quietus, I kind of like this Heimer. And just set up for like a big hit next turn. Unfortunately, we still don't have the spell to be able to do anything. We could just Quietus this Bloodletters. Stops the Dark Control from being summoned. Or do we have to actually wait? Depending on the equipment that the opponent got here, do we actually have to wait? Do I care about the Solani? Or is other equipment more critical than Solani? Solani's gonna give them like permanent value. So here's my thought. Do we kill the Darkin Bow? Is it ever the Darkin Bow or is it actually the Solani? I think I'm gonna go for the Solani. I'm gonna go for the Solani here. That way the opponent doesn't have this permanently, doesn't have the Dark Controls to put pressure. I mean, I have enough units that I don't think it's a big deal. I'm never beating this Ruthless Predator anyways, so this is okay for us. Yeah, I'm never beating the Ruthless Predator, right? Because actually it's better that I ended up using the Quietus, because at least I get a range pot out of it, right? We'll go here. Opponent predicted either another Varus or another equipment on the prediction last turn. We could go Jayce here. Force the opponent to have to do something to protect that Varus. So they have to commit and yeah, there we go. And I think I'm okay with that, right? Because we can always just go Piercing Darkness next turn. We could try to challenge it right now. And that was what they picked. We could try to challenge it right now before the Piercing Darkness comes down. And could have gone for like a Battle Feast. I don't think it's necessary. I think I prefer having my second Jayce in my hand. Because we can go Piercing Darkness into Battle Feast. They still survive if they have access to Momentous Choice. They could also just straight up level up the Varus. Okay. So I like this.
Tomorrow has never looked so
I like this, even if the opponent has, like, the only punish here is momentous choice. Shapestone is not enough, because we can Bow Feast right after, and get ourselves a blocker. Okay, so we kill the Varus. We have a blocker for the Defector if we so wanted to. Or we could just play the Ferris, right? So they actually had a second one. This is the downside though, right? They're gonna get their Dark Control, and then they can put the Swinging Glaive on it right away. We can play the headstart candle. Allow me to kill the Defector. I think we have to go here, right? This lets me kill the Defector, and then we just let their Dark Control just hit into this guy. Yeah, we just block here. Opponent puts the Swinging Glaive on the Dark Control because he got equipped last turn. We block with the Wrench Bot. We have access to Bow Feast. So we go here. Opponent plays the Lucky Find. As long as I don't get any health, then we can still go what we were going for, which is the Bow Feast. I think we are stabilized. Yeah, they didn't get the health, so we can go N. We can go Heimer, Bow Feast. Heck, we even have the Adapter now too.
Sure beats the smell of burning workshops.
Oh, that's gonna give them Varus. Shoot. But that means that they have another Varus in their hand. Right? I guess it doesn't matter. If they have another Varus in their hand, that's fine. If they have another Varus in their hand... So if we go like this, we can try to pull with the Jayce to kill that first Varus. And as long as the opponent doesn't have any other spell... Curious Wilder? Ah, we messed up. We messed up the order, right? We messed up the order. I didn't play around the Curious Wilder. I could have played around the... I could have just challenged. I mean, the Jayce always dies. The Jayce always dies, but at least we get one Varus out of the way. Opponent has the... Yeah, I could have actually played around it. Opponent has access to a second Varus. Could play the Swinging Glaive as well as this. We're gonna have to look for an answer here. Why didn't I play around the Furious Wilder? Okay, they have Spell Shield. The Spell Shield doesn't do anything against the Jayce. All I need to do is make sure that I don't die. Right? Like, as long as I don't die, I think I should be okay. Once we have Jayce on the field... Okay, even better, we have Bow Feast too. They can kill the Heimer. We know you have a Varus in your hand. So, I guess opponent has another Solani here. So I know they have a Varus in their hand. We can go like this. Glorious Evolution doesn't really do a lot, but actually... we get to double that up. No, that cannot be right? So we play Jayce here. We left with 3. Next we have 13. We play double Glorious Evolution. And then what? That still shouldn't be enough to get us there. I think it has to be the Hextech Anomaly. But it's so bad if I get anything that's like bad. I feel like at least with the Glorious Evolution, I'm kind of putting a lot of pressure. Opponent has to kill this Heimer. They have to use the Varus and pull this Heimer, like right now. What we could do... We could just play the Jayce and play the Acceleration Gate, right? You have to pull. You have to pull. Yeah, you have to pull. You have to pull. And you better not pull with the 4-1. You better not pull with the 4-1. Yeah, just pull both. I guess they have to, right? They have to. Oh no, this is gonna lose them the game. Because we get to kill the 2-1. Yeah, this is gonna actually lose them the game. Because now we just go here, then we go Jayce, we go double Acceleration Gate, and the opponent will not be able to deal with double Elusives that are gonna also be buffed up by the double Hextech Handler. Heck, let's go Quick Attack, because why not? Yeah, I'm sorry, opponent. This is, this one's rough. So our choice here didn't even matter.
Of tech.
Yeah, we go double acceleration gate. We get double floor begons. Each of them are gonna be 8/3s. We even have a mystic shot, and that's game. A little bit of an oopsie there, not playing around the the Furious Wielder, right? If I play around the Furious Wielder correctly, we could have kept that Battle Feast until after I pulled the Varus, because the opponent was always gonna play the Furious Wielder in response to me pulling the Varus. So we could have killed the Jayce still would have died. So I guess it would have been the same result, but we at least would have taken the Varus down with us and not have to worry about the second Varus there doing the pull like he just did. So we would have gotten rid of at least one card the opponent had. But still won, still almost 200 P. In the beginning of this video, as I was showing you guys decks to climb with, I started at 75 LP. Over the course of this video, I went 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 0 with the 4 decks that I'm telling you all to climb with. So yeah, exactly. Hey, welcome back everybody. I'm gone a week and I forget how to play the game, making very silly misplays and not playing around cards. I forget to freaking record correctly. You saw me messing up my screen there at the end. I had to like reshoot a couple of games. Man, it's crazy how like 1 week is enough for you to forget the things that you've been doing for like a whole year straight or more. But anyways, my point I think was proven. At the beginning of the video, when you saw that first Pirate Aggro game, or might have been second or third, depending how I organized it, I started at 75 LP. And by the end of it, with the last Jayce Heimer win, we finished at 195 and almost got to top 100 in the ladder. These 4 decks are all very, very, very good. So if you're looking to climb in the next week and get to the next step that you need, these are my 4 decks recommendation, and I hope you give them a shot. In the description below, I will post some resources, either videos from myself or other content creators that have played and showcased these decks, so that you get to get more practice on a full-length video instead of just the 1 game that I showed or the 3 games that I showed with Pirate Aggro. Aside from that though, hope you all enjoyed the rest of the season. Spoiler season should be starting soon. I'm very excited for whatever new champions we're gonna get next week. Good luck in your climb. Let me know if you get to Diamond, Masters, Platinum, Gold, or whatever your goal is, and we can all celebrate together. Hope you enjoyed today's games. I'm glad to be back. Hope you all didn't miss me too much, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Make sure that you subscribe below so that you keep track of whenever we post a new video, and you can also find us on Twitch at Sirturmund, where we stream every now and then, and also on Discord and Twitter. The links to those are both in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.